continue to investigate how taxpayer money is spent to house the homeless.
Clients of Bay Area Community Services say Berkeley's navigation center is unsafe and the permanent housing options are not sustainable. The nonprofit CEO sat down with our Susie Steimel for the first time.
So I come down here and, oh God, it was scary.
That's how James Wood describes his first night at the Stair Center in Berkeley. It's a rapid rehousing program run by Bay Area Community Services, or BACS. The program is supposed to help people move from encampments into permanent housing.
I had been really upset because when I first got here, it was deplorable conditions.
In the Stair Center?
Yes, it seemed to be nothing but a glorified homeless encampment. There was so much drugs being used, the doors were slamming every 2 minutes, you can't sleep because they're up all night, in and out of the buildings.
James says he moved into the Stair Center in September. During his 2 months there, he says the building has gone a full week without hot water, had sinks that didn't work, flooded bathrooms, broken washers and dryers, and fire extinguishers that were more than 6 months overdue for inspection.
Does it feel safe?
No.
Is it clean in there?
No. That's why it was so deplorable. The bathrooms are disgusting.
James says the only permanent housing options BACS offered him were also not sustainable. The first was in Concord. When he went to move in, he found out he was going to have a roommate, someone he'd never met.
And I said, I'm out of here. And you can't hold it against me because this was rented to me as a single room.
The next place he looked at was in Oakland. This time he knew it would be a shared room. Most solutions BACS offers are. But he was caught off guard again.
They added a third bed to the room. No price reduction. Now we're paying $2,100 for a small master bedroom. 3 people, and I don't even know who they are.
In our previous reporting on BACS, we found BACS regularly places multiple adults in shared bedrooms with people they've never met. Often tenants can't access the kitchen to cook. We found one woman was placed in this garage that had a rat infestation.
When we asked the city of Berkeley to respond to the multitude of complaints that we've heard from BACS clients, in an email, a spokesperson accused us of willfully running inaccuracies about BACS and then refused to do an on-camera interview. And we found we're not the only people elevating these concerns to city officials.
I personally called the mayor's office many times.
Berkeley activist Marsha Poole has been corresponding with James since she met him living in a tent on the street 5 years ago. She says when he checked into the Stair Center, she visited him multiple times.
The place was dirty. The place was just dirty.
Talking to other residents, she said she soon heard even worse complaints, like that there wasn't enough food.
It's brought in by Meals on Wheels in the morning, but by the time anyone got to it, it was gone, pretty much. So they were hungry there.
She worries it's also a potentially dangerous place.
Here are all these people sleeping together in a big, vast room. This was a man who was afraid that he was going to go to sleep and not wake up.
We follow the parameters.
Jamie Almanza is BACS Executive Director. After denying our request for an interview for 2 months, she finally agreed to sit down with us. We pointed out that police records show 79 calls in the year and a half that the Stair Center has been open. One was for an assault on James. He says he slept on the street that night out of fear for his life.
Clients tell us they don't feel safe there. A lot of those calls were for assaults between clients who are staying there. Is this a safe place?
Absolutely.
Jamie says she stands by their numbers. An 82% success rate of finding permanent housing for homeless clients at the Stair Center.
So how many of that 82% over the past year and a half are still housed?
I can most certainly get you data if you're interested on year-to-date or program-to-date for the Stair Center. I do not have that on my person.
So do you have those statistics of how many people it's stuck for?
I would reference you to the county statistics.
But the county refers us to BACS, saying we are not able to segment by jurisdiction or provider in any way that provides an accurate picture.
But you as the executive director do not know what the long-term success rate looks like of how many people stay.
That's really an unfair question.
In this email to investors that we obtained written shortly after our first report on BACS, she encouraged investors to be selective in their viewing of KPIX, saying we put vulnerable people on camera without considering their mental state.
My social worker.
James says it's just the opposite. He says BACS tried to exploit him in his interview with us. The day of our scheduled interview, James started getting calls and visits from people within BACS.
And so this morning, my coordinator comes to me and goes, "We need to talk." And he goes, "Let's go to breakfast." And he's concerned about what I might say in this interview. They wanted someone to sit here with me during the interview that was working for BACS, and without you knowing. And I felt like, well, if you'd found out that there goes my credibility.
James says BACS Chief Clinical Strategy Officer Benjamin Blake asked if he could sit in on James's interview with KPIX without telling KPIX who he was. James says BACS wanted to ensure that he talked positively about the program to us. In a text message, Ben says, "I'd like to be with you to support you when you do the interview if that would be acceptable to you." After the interview, Ben checks in again. "No interview, question mark?" James responds, "No, I was interviewed. It went well." Ben, did you talk positively about BACS?
Can I ask about James Wood then, and why Benjamin Blake asked if he could sit in on James Wood's interview with us?
So Benjamin Blake is a staff at BACS, and we offer support to every client in every scenario possible. I actually think it's a wonderful thing that a senior level staff would offer support to any individual.
James says he feels stuck. He says he's coming forward with this story because he believes BACS hasn't helped him find adequate housing, and he's losing hope that they ever will.
I'm comfortable with doing this because I've already accepted the fact that I will probably die in the street. And if this doesn't change, they're not going to be able to get me a place.
BACS asked us to clarify that 82% success rate. That means 82% of their clients from the Stair Center were placed into permanent housing, but not that they were able to stay there. BACS says that is a different measurement of returns to homelessness, and they say only 16% of their clients returned to homelessness. We asked for the study that backs up that data, and they didn't provide it. But there is some good news. James says that there were improvements made to the Stair Center after he complained to the city. Susie Steimel, KPIX 5.
Portions of our extended interview dealing with the Stair Center and client housing are available on our website. Keep sending us your stories and your ideas to Project Home at cbs.com.
Serious talk about the first